Morning. No, it's 12:06, so good afternoon. Um, I wanna share my screen real quick so I can show you, just a small change on Schoology if you haven't already noticed it, okay? This is, it's for organization. It's for you guys. So what I did is, you already knew there was a first marking period folder, but now I put everything from the last marking period into a second marking period folder. That way you're not scrolling all the way down to get to new stuff. So everything else is the same. We're gonna have guides. Um, I'm keeping the guides in here. I mean, for now, maybe I'll get rid of them or hide them from you from last marking period. I'll probably do that. And then any PowerPoints we end up going over, and then the weeks start right under, like you guys are used to. So shouldn't be any differences or any changes. What I do want to mention though is if you click on, and I'm looking at it as one of you guys, right? So this is how you would see it right now if you go on Schoology. And if you scroll down, anything that's important that I feel I need to maybe give you guys a hint, right, is going to be written in red under the folder before you open it. So for example, if you look right here, week of 2/8, this is the start of the third marking period. Notes on the peripheral system is in 2/8 Zoom recording. I'm not sure how much more clear I can be by helping those of you who miss class. All right. We talked last week about how we were going to start fresh on Monday, brand new stuff. Last week, I didn't want to start anything new at the end of the week. I still had some of you guys to kind of catch up on stuff. And I warned you and I let all of you know. Okay. There were some of you who were absent. Didn't start off on the right foot here for the third marking period. So I'm giving you hints. Anytime you're absent, right, there's hints. But I really shouldn't even have to write this because you should know that if you ever miss class, you need to watch the Zoom, the recorded Zoom. But Monday Zoom, 2/8 Zoom recording, that recording is a large chunk of the outline that we went over to start off the nervous system. And we talked about the peripheral nervous system. We didn't completely finish it, and we will on Friday because we can't do anything new on Wednesdays, more so a review. But I wanted to just let you guys know that if you do miss class and there were notes or something that was important from the class you miss, I will try my best to kind of write it here, as you can see. So, those of you that missed class on Wednesday, if you haven't done so already and you want to get off to a better start or a good start during this marking period, that's what you need to do, which is watch the Zoom recording for Monday and take those notes. Otherwise, on Friday, you're going to be lost. You're literally going to be lost. All right. Having said that, I want to show you guys. It's just a review. Okay, this is what we talked about on Monday. Right? This is what we talked about on Monday. We started the peripheral nervous system. We talked about peripheral, everything else, right? And that's exactly the definition. It's everything in the nervous system except for the brain and the spinal cord. We talked about how the nervous system has neurons, which are specialized cells that make and receive electrical impulses. That special term, electrical impulses, it just means messages or signals, right? We talked about how there's two different types of neurons. One type of neuron sends information up to the brain this way, and the other type of neuron sends information from the brain, goes this way. So I talked about like that highway analogy that I gave you guys to try and think of. And the highway is the neurons and the spinal cord and the branches that reach out to the rest of your body and your organs, right? And the cars are the information, the messages, the impulses. Okay. And the sensory neurons are what sends these impulses up to your brain because they sense something and that message has to get sent up to your brain. And the motor neurons are what send impulses from your brain down to somewhere in your body. And how do you know where it's going in your body? Well, it's either going to go through somatic motor neurons or that impulse is going to go through autonomic motor neurons. And somatic and autonomic is how you're going to know where those messages go to from your brain somewhere. And in red down here, We talked about the type of muscle from last marking period. That's why I put it in red, because it's nothing new. Skeletal muscle is voluntary. We have control over our movement, right? That's what skeletal muscle is. And that's what voluntary impulses do when they travel through the somatic motor neurons. And they go from your brain through somatic motor neurons down to skeletal muscle. That's where they go. If a message is traveling through the autonomic motor neurons, then they're going from your brain down to involuntary areas of your body. And that's why they're called involuntary impulses. And they go to smooth and cardiac muscle. So, like your heart, or part of your organs, or an area of your blood, or your GI tract, your stomach, your intestines. Okay. That was like a short version of what we talked about on Monday. These were the notes, and it's very important to go back to Monday's Zoom, because that's what gives you more details. And I went through examples and different types of examples, talking about sensory neurons, talking about motor neurons, also talking about somatic and autonomic motor neurons. If you wait and wait and wait to go through this stuff, you will be confused. On Friday, so you see autonomic motor neurons, there's actually another breakdown of 2 types of autonomic motor neurons that we're going to wait to talk about on Friday. But I wanted to give that little recap. One, for those of you who were here, and just a little memory recap. And 2, for those of you who are not here, so you can really see what you missed. It's a lot of stuff. Okay. Are there any questions based on Monday's class or anything else?